The reason the Royals went from 106 losses to 86 is because of the rotation they put together. Obviously, Bobby Witt Jr. had a MVP-type season, but Seth Lugo turned out to be their number one, and rightfully so.
And I'm in love with the good life. Can't give it up. Make it to the top. Keep climbing. I wanna live it up. The good life. I'm coming up. I'm coming up. The good life. Good life. Oh, good life. Good life. Good life.
Boom! Coming in hot, Chichi. I'm back in the mayor's office, bro.
Wait, hold on. Right before we came on, you go, I got to tell you about a flat tire. What? Do you have a flat tire?
Well, dude, we were gonna. I had to be a couple minutes late. I had a flat tire. Dude, I must admit, I have this really nice Q8 Audi, and I get flat tires all the time. I'm not. Matter of fact, thank goodness for my man Ryan Johns, because Johnsy can fix anything. He's like one of those handy guys. I'm like, Johnsy, we were doing the cold plunge. I was like, bro, you got to see my tire. He's telling me, dude, it was down to 5. You know how you're like, your tire should be at 40, 45 or something like that? Was down to 5. So Johnsy went in. Have you ever done that with the, you grabbed, he pulls out, he found a screw in it.
Okay.
But then he went in and you go in and patch it with the tool.
Right.
He saved me tons of money, dude.
Dude, I don't think I ever told you this. I was driving to work when I was at MLB Network once, and I'm on the Southern State Parkway, which is, it might as well be like the Indy 500 on that highway. Right. And I'm driving, and I have that big Wrangler with like really big wheels because I'm so short, I like a big truck. For things. So I'm driving, 2 cars in front of me. I see it. A guy threw a hammer out his window.
Why?
Dude, I don't know. It was 2 cars in front of me. I never told maybe anybody the story. It goes underneath the car in front of me, and I was like, what the hell? And then all of a sudden, kaboom! My back left tire exploded. I was doing like 65 in a Wrangler, not like a race car, in the left lane, and I had to get across. I don't know how my car didn't flip. I got off to the side, and there's just a hammer. Just the back of the hammer was just in my tire. Dude, funniest thing is, they kept trying to sell me on tire insurance when I bought it, and I'm like, this is such a scam, whatever. And the guy's like, dude, these tires are huge. You need tire insurance because they're like thousands of dollars. And I'm like, right. And I got the tire insurance, so I got a free tire out of it.
Wow. How much was the tire insurance?
I don't know what.
Do you think it was worth it? Obviously, it was, because you didn't know a hammer was going to go through your tire.
I think it was wrapped into the the mortgage, not the lease. I owned it, so it was wrapped in. So it was probably like an extra $750 or something. I was like, all right, go ahead, do it. And thank God I did, because I think the tires are like $1,500 each in the big trucks like that.
Wow, dude. Wow. I can't believe a hammer. First off, I can't believe a guy threw a hammer out his window. And second off, I can't believe it went through your tire.
Unbelievable. It was a crazy story. All right. I digress. Now we got our tire stories out of the way. Manager of the Year happened last night. You were at MLB Network. Yeah. You saw it all happen. Congratulations to a couple guys. Congratulations to all 6 guys, by the way.
Well, you know what? I think one thing, Brian Kenny said something good last night. He was like, you know what? He goes, this is the race where you're like, it's kind of a toss-up for everybody. I mean, you look at the National League, Pat Murphy wins it. But you got Mike Schilt, Carlos Mendoza, and we talked about Dave Roberts probably should have been in there too, no doubt about it. But Pat Murphy ends up winning it, and good for Murph, man. Good for Murph for all that he had to endure. Comes in there, he takes over for Craig Counsell, goes to Chicago. Devin Williams, missed most of the year, the number 1 closer in the game. Corbin Burns, his number 1 starter, gets traded. Brandon Woodruff's pretty much out for the season in that rotation too. Yelich goes down in July. There were so many red flags, for the Brewers not to do well. But Murph's personality, we had him on the show. We're going to probably put that episode up here. What we did with Murph this season. But he's just one of the best guys. He's a guy. He's a Jim Leland type guy, man. And a Terry Francona. They're ball busters. You joke around with them. They're funny guys, but you also know they're the boss. They're the leaders. They lead from the front. They're the guys making the decisions. So when I see Murphy, I was really, really happy for him that he ended up winning that. And on the American League side, man, all three guys were from the AL Central.
Yeah.
Stephen Vogt, Cleveland Guardians, Matt Quatraro, Kansas City Royals, and then A.J. Hinch from the Tigers. Now, Voter won it and won it running away. I mean, obviously had a great year, and I think a big reason was they were 6 wins more than those other two teams. I think that was huge, and they were pretty much wire to wire with the team that they had. I think Voter did a great job. I think him being a catcher, Chinch. I always feel like your best managers are catchers.
Yeah.
You know, they just see the game differently. They're hitters, but they also know how to run a staff. They see things differently with guys, maybe like as far as a guy in the bullpen, man, he's running out of gas, or that starter. It's time to pull that guy in the 5th or the 6th, maybe give him a couple more innings, whatever it is. I don't know. I feel like catchers do a great job.
They probably have more meetings as players than you did.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Right? And
they're in the pitchers and the hitters meeting.
Yeah, exactly. So there's that. How about this? Murphy's 65 years old. First Brewers manager in franchise history since the award started in 1983. First Brewers manager to win. The other thing on the flip side, Stephen Vogt's 40, dude. He's only 40 years old.
Dude, he just got out of the game. He was just hitting bombs.
Yeah.
Game.
It's so cool. And, you know, it just goes to show you, like, some teams, you need that elder statesman type personality, which is what the Brewers had. And in Cleveland, they kind of almost needed somebody who was like, you know, a relatable, like the fit is the fit on teams, right?
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you can have a great manager, a historic manager go to a team and it just doesn't work there for those type of players. These two guys fit the mold, and you could tell all the young Brewers, it was like dad's in a room. You know, and with Vogt, it's almost like your big brother's in a room.
Right. That's a great point, Judge.
It works both ways, you know?
Two different feels. No, you're exactly right. And also, too, Vogt, his personality is as close to Terry Francona as you can get, too. They're both, like, just funny guys, good guys, make you feel good about yourself, make you want to run through a wall for them, but also motivating guys, you know. But you're right. It's so true. Murphy's your dad, Vogt's your older brother, you know, and it worked for both those teams. I think Antonetti and those guys did a great job. But you also look at, you know, Matty Q, Matt Quatraro, what a great job he did out there in Kansas City. I mean, they lost 106 games last year, Chinch. It's like the biggest turnaround maybe ever, from going from 106 losses to 76 and winning 86 games, making the postseason. So, I mean, you got to give him a ton of credit for that run that they had. And then I'll tell you what, the guy that might have done the best job, that I was shocked he didn't get more votes, that this wasn't closer, was A.J. Hinch. August 11th, they had a 2%. No, it was like 2% or 0.2% chance of making the postseason.
They had
That's
one
how bad it was.
starting pitcher. They basically had one starting pitcher for an entire season, right?
Skubal was basically. They also had. What was that? Reese Olson?
Yeah, but I'm saying they had an ace and they had a bullpen, and he used that bullpen more than anybody.
Dude, he ran that bullpen. They had so many more innings than the next bullpen, you know, and he really just was like, here we go. You know, and the biggest thing about a man, I was making this point to Brian Kenny, managers, the way the game's played nowadays, have become like another player because of the way they have to manage that bullpen, the way they have to manage pinch hitters, because more teams than ever are platooning. So, you got the right-handed lineup, the left-handed lineup. You got to really pay attention to that bullpen. When are you going to put that guy in? When are you going to, is there going to be, where's the switch going to be? So there's a lot more going on for managers. And being in the Yankees clubhouse last year, watching what Aaron Boone does before every game, all the meetings that he has with with Matt Blake, and then he's meeting with the hitting coach, and then, he's in that meeting, and he's meeting with Cashman, all these guys. So there's so much going on for managers nowadays. But the job that A.J. Hinch did, I mean, he really had to manage that club because, Chinch, go back and look at that lineup. There's still not a ton of guys that you're like scared of. Kerry Carpenter was one, but he was banged up at the end, and Riley Green. Everyone else was like young players, and they did good, but like, you look at Sweeney's numbers weren't great. Colt Keith's numbers weren't great. I mean, there wasn't like a superstar in that lineup. Javi Baez are like, get this guy out of here because he can't hit. You know what I mean? So, like, I think A.J. Hinch probably should have had more votes than he got.
Dude, one other thing about managing in the big leagues now, you said you were in a dugout last year. How fast you have to make decisions. You have to be ready. With the pitch clock, dude, it has become a somewhat fast game. And you saw it sometimes in the playoffs where like, oh, wait, there's nobody up in a pen. And you wouldn't even have time to get that guy up, to get him into a game, to stop the bleeding of something. Like, it just seems like such a fast game that you have to be 2 innings ahead the entire game, right?
The game will speed up in you quickly. It really will. It really will. I remember in 2013, I think it was when John Farrell was manager of the Red Sox when they won the whole thing. Something happened. I can't remember what it was, but it was like game 2 or game 3. And I asked John, I said, dude, what happened on that one move, that you didn't make? And he goes, Case, to be honest with you, the game sped up on me.
Yeah.
He's like, it all happened so fast. It was like, oh, my gosh. That's why I think, dude, bench coaches are more important than ever. Like, you saw Terry Francona goes and gets his man Brad Mills back, who's like his right-hand man. Went to Arizona together, did everything together.
Carlos Mendoza has
that's John Gibbons. I mean, dude, when I think of Booney, he's got Brad Ausmus. If I'm managing, I'm getting a former manager to be my bench coach, a guy that's been there, done that can help me with the game plan. The bench coaches do so much, dude. They run the analytics meeting. They run the scouts meeting right that first day in. Those guys are running, hey, listen, this is what we got going on. This is the base run. At least Mendoza did when I was in New York. So the bench coaches, they're involved in so many of the decisions. So you're right, Chinch. The game is so fast now. I think it's faster than ever that you better have your right-hand man better be a guy that's proven and been in the game. You can't just get your buddy to come in. Hey, dude, you want to be my bench coach? We're both going to be fired 2 years. That happens.
All right. Tonight, Cy Young Award. Well, how are you handicapping these two races?
Well, man, I tell you what, these are going to be some great races. But I think at the end of the day, when you look at the American League, let's go there first. I think Tarik Skubal runs away with it. Triple Crown. This guy was probably the best pitcher in the game, no doubt about it. But the other two guys are interesting because Emmanuel Clase had a .61 ERA with 47 saves. I mean, this guy had an incredible year. But and Brian Kenny was saying, well, 74 innings. I think for me, he's got to get to close to 90 or 85. And I was like, listen, the Guardians had the best bullpen in the game with Cade Smith and those guys in the back end there. Bridging the gap to Clase was easy. They didn't need him for 2 innings. They didn't need him for Edwin Diaz at the end, like throw him 2 innings, throw him 3. I don't know if that was a good move anyhow with the way Diaz was all over the place. But for the Guardians, they did such a great job of putting that bullpen together. And Cade Smith, the rookie, really became one of the best relievers in the game, was bridging the gap there in the 8th. That's why he had 74 innings and 47 saves, and they didn't need him all the time. So a .61 ERA any other year where if Skubal's not winning the Triple Crown, that conversation's a lot better. And also Seth Lugo. What Seth Lugo did this year with a 3 ERA, I think 200 innings pitched. He had just an incredible year. Nice little couple postseason starts. He did well. I mean, Seth Lugo, what a great sign that was for the Royals. I mean, you go back and look at J.J. Piccolo putting together that rotation and, Seth Lugo and Waka and then, Reagans and just Singer and all the guys that they had. That was the reason. The reason the Royals went from 106 losses to 86 is because of the rotation they put together. Obviously, Bobby Witt Jr. had a MVP-type season, but Seth Lugo turned out to be their number one, and rightfully so. Yeah. Now that he's right here in the mix for the Cy Young. So Skubal's going to win it, but three other good guys. Yeah,
Lugo, just to give him some props. First of all, 3 ERA on a dot, 206.2 innings. He led the major leagues in batters faced. He faced 836 batters and wound up with a 3 ERA. That's saying something, right?
Yeah, really saying something, dude. Really, and you know what else is funny? We talk about Lugo. He had a 4.7 WAR, which ranked 3rd in AL behind Skubal. And guess what? His teammate Cole Reagans.
Right.
He's going to get some votes too. So we talk about the Royals. 2 guys are going to get Cy Young votes in that rotation.
Amazing.
Which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, and on the flip side, look, we've been saying this about a lot of the awards. In any other year, somebody else could win an award. I don't know how you could argue against an 18-3 record, an .857 win percentage, a 2.38 ERA, and the league leading 225 strikeouts for Chris Sale. It's one of the best seasons we've seen. It might be his best season, and he's a superstar.
He was 4 strikeouts shy of becoming the first pitcher since Johan Santana in 06 to win MLB's Triple Crown in a non-shortened season. But he got the National League Triple Crown. I mean, he just was so good. You're right. What was he, 18-3?
Yep.
18-3, led Major League Baseball to 238. F4 of 6.4, and he had 225 punch-outs, and I believe 174 innings or something like that. So I'm excited for Chris Sale, man. Chris Sale's a great guy. I've known Chris over the years, and there was nobody, when he went to the Red Sox in that trade and they won the whole thing in 2018, I mean, he was a guy that Alex Cora really leaned on. You could tell, he was kind of grinding. His stuff wasn't as, started when he got hurt, his stuff started to obviously diminish a little bit, and you thought Chris Sale's career might be over. Then he gets traded over to the Braves, and then no one was more important to the Braves team than Chris Sale having the year that he had with Spencer Strider going out right when the year started. So, you want to talk about just a great story, man. Chris Sale, I think he was dead for rights. I think all of us had him his career kind of winded down, and then bam, here he is, wins the National League Triple Crown, has an incredible season, probably going to win the Cy Young. So great job by Chris Sale. Yeah. It's exciting. Yeah,
it's exciting, and there's exciting pitchers in the National League anyway. Paul Skeens will win a Cy Young one day. It's just not going to be this year, I think.
Yeah. Well, he didn't have enough innings. Right. Didn't have enough innings. But yeah, I mean, Skeens' numbers, a 1.96 ERA. What do you have, 133 innings or something like that? So 170 punch outs. And this guy, I can't wait to see him get 200 innings. He's a workhorse too. He's a workhorse and a thoroughbred.
He's got the body for it, like the body not to break down. Like I don't
exactly. He's just a monster of a guy. So that's huge. And I also think this race is the closest race because you go and look at Zach Wheeler's numbers. He had some incredible numbers too, over 200 innings pitched. And the other thing about Wheeler was towards the end of the year, Sale was hurt with that bad back. I mean, Wheeler really, had to keep pitching, was, solid in the postseason. So, there's the case there. But still, I think Sale got 225 strikeouts. Wheeler had 16 more innings than he had.
Right.
224
strikeouts for
26 more innings. 26 more innings, and he had one less strikeout than Sale. That's how dominant Sale was.
Yeah, exactly. Good point. All right. Well,
so I think it's going to be Sale and Skubal, I think.
All right. We get to know. How fun is it working with Brian Kenny? Tell people how fun it is to work with
BK is the best, man. He's the best.
We got to get him on. We should get him on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dude, why don't we haven't got BK on? We got to get him on.
No, what's wrong with us? All right.
Jeez. All right. Next week.
Next week. All right. And then again, we're going to play back the manager of the year.
You know what? We should talk. We should get BK on and go down the Hall of Fame. He's the best. There's nobody better in the world than BK with Hall of Fame. So we should go down the Hall of Fame guys.
Great call. All right, we'll do that next week.
Bring in Lance Berkman again. We're on a mission to get Lance Berkman in the Hall of Fame.
Yes. And by the way, we said yesterday that Billy Wagner should be in the Hall of Fame, and then I tweeted out that clip, and Billy Wagner liked it. So everybody.
Good. I bet Wags. We're trying to help you out, Wags. And Andrew Jones, too.
Andrew Jones. He liked it, too, and we got to get him in. So we're going to get some guys into the Hall of Fame this year. All right.
Yes.
All right, buddy.
Yes. All right, man. Have a great rest of the day, JJ. Great to see you, brother. Everyone out there, thanks for listening. Also, go check out breakthrough-pro.com and check out our program coming up January 5th. It's going to be a doozy of a good one. Love you, bro. I'll see you.